Hi everyone, my name is Deepak Madhav. I am the franchise owner of the Primrose School of Wylie. I'd like to welcome you to this little video explanation, video tour, because I want to hit on different topics and just give you a flavor of things that you can't normally see looking at a static ad in a magazine. So I really encourage you to come by and get a tour of the school so you can bring this school to life and understand what are all the new things that we're offering the children and the parents of the Wylie, Saxe, Murphy, Levon area. First of all, we're located at 1615 West Brown Street. Unmistakable because we're right across from City Hall. And I will say this, it took me 3 years to find this location. We had looked in a lot of different areas around here. I wasn't happy with any of the areas because they were a little congested, too much traffic, and it just didn't feel right. So when this area came available, we had to demo a building to make it ready to build, and what I liked about it was I was able to buy a larger plot size. The benefit of that is we were able to get almost double the parking you normally get, which is important for you because these types of schools are very labor intensive. We have like 39 employees already. So if you have only 25 parking spots, 39 employees, it's a problem finding parking for the parents. They're driving around in the rain trying to find parking. It's stressful, it's not comfortable. So with almost 50 parking spots, we park around the periphery and we leave the guts in the front available for the parents. So as you enter the property, you might be tired or having driven from Dallas, it might be rainy or what have you. You'll always find a parking spot, most likely a parking spot right up front so you can easily get in, which is more convenient for you, better customer service. And a lot of times parents have multiple children and bags and things that they're carrying. So that was a good thing that we decided to do. By getting more land, we were also able to do something a little untraditional. It seems to be most people like to put their business right on the street for visibility. We took an opposite approach and pushed it as far back from Brown Street as possible for safety. So if ever there's an accident or a vehicle loses control, they're not going to get past the retention pond and the parking lot to come anywhere near the school to injure anybody or harm the property. We also bought the 4 acres next to us too. And the reason for that was we didn't want any strange business coming there where people are coming and going, like a fast food restaurant or something like that, because we wanted as much privacy as possible, because privacy is safety for the children. And we wanted to make sure that any child that's left here is as safe as possible. So the only people that come on the property now are parents, children, staff members, or prospective parents, or that type of a thing. Now we've gotten to the point where we can recognize a person's car and already start calling for their child. If you do come and get a tour, I can highlight a lot of the safety features around the school, pinch guards on the doors, even all the turf that we have around the school, which is a big upgrade, is a safety feature because if children fall on grass, for example, they can be quite hard and they can get injured. But with the turf, it's padded, so they have that extra cushioning. And because it's turf, I don't have to use chemicals, Roundup fertilizer, any of those kind of things. Plus, parents don't have to wash grass stains out of their pants. So that's good, much easier on the parents. When we go through the school, you'll be looking at all the classrooms, and the child gets older in classroom size as we go down the corridor there. And there's numerous other safety features throughout the classroom. So again, I encourage you to come by and get a tour. I will say this though, we opened November 2018, and we've been open a little over 2 years now. Many of those months were in the COVID environment. We never shut down. We never let staff go during the period where enrollment dropped significantly because of COVID. And we have not had a case of coronavirus in the school, no symptomatic cases at all. And part of that is because we changed a lot of things initially. We've always cleaned very, very well and very frequently. We switched to hospital-grade disinfectants quickly and increased the frequency of wiping everything and making sure everything is clean. We also decided to limit parents to the vestibule only. Prior to COVID, we had an open door policy. Parents would come on in with a code and access the school, go to the classroom, get the child, talk to the teacher. Very open environment. But with COVID, we quickly put an end to all that. And what we did was we limited parents in the vestibule, and we take the child and bring the child at the end of the day. Children, luckily, are not really the risk factor. It's more the adults. What are the parents doing in the weekends or traveling, and what about the teachers, and so on and so forth. So we've had 100% compliance, 2 at a time, 2 families at a time allowed in the vestibule. They're all wearing masks, so I have to give full credit to the parents for being on board with that. Also, we decided to work with our teachers to kind of limit some of their travel as well. And if they do want to travel, they kind of have to self-quarantine for a couple of weeks before they can come back to the school. And they were on board too. And thankfully, those things combined played a big role in us being a COVID-free school. Anything could change in a moment, but at least we have protocols to help keep the chance of getting COVID to a very, 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 very minimum. Another thing we did was we decided to fog the school ourselves. A lot of companies do that as part of the services they provide, but you have to schedule with them. And you don't always know what the chemicals are that they're using. So over here, I'd like to show you a couple of things that we've got here. We make our own fogging solution. It's called Hypochlorous Acid. And you can look it up on the internet, and basically we make it in-house with a machine here, let's say a little pitcher, but what it does is it changes the molecular structure of what we put in there. And the only ingredients are water, salt, and vinegar, and then we turn the cycle on, and it produces hypochlorous acid, which then goes into our fogger here, which I fog every evening and hit the hallways and hit the high-risk areas, particularly the vestibule where the parents are coming in and out of. So I can guarantee a disinfected school by, say, 6 a.m. by the time everybody comes for the next day. We also have misters going throughout the day in the vestibule and the front entry that has the same solution over here. We also have little spray bottles that the teachers get refilled with this hypochlorous acid. It kind of lingers in the air. So they do their soap and water clean, they do their disinfecting clean, then they give it a spray with the hypochlorous acid. So I think all these things combined has really played a role in the reason why we are a COVID-free school. And parents are appreciating that, because if we don't have COVID and we don't have to shut down, they get childcare and they can do their work at the highest level. So they really appreciate that. And so we're glad we kind of instituted all these different policies. If you come and get a tour, and I will say that it's taken quite a few years to design and build this school, thoughtfully so, before we even opened. But if you come and get a tour, you'll notice certain things. You'll notice pinch guards on the door, so in case children's fingers go in the door crack, you won't get injured. You'll see there's about 5 of us up front on the leadership team. And the good thing about that is you may have a question for somebody, and it's also good to keep this place secure too, because we need to know who's coming in the vestibule and monitoring that whole process too. So our leadership team will be up front and also running around in the classrooms, supporting the teachers. I'm happy to say that we have a core team that we opened with that are pretty much still here. We've had some teachers come and go, but our core team has been here throughout. And that's another complaint parents always have is, they say the childcare facilities have a lot of turnover. And so, you have to think about that. That is unfortunate because, parents are happy that it took 3 months and now they know their teacher very well. The teacher knows their child very well. And then 3 months later, the teacher's gone. It can be very frustrating. So I'm happy to report that we have, a good group of people that have stayed from the beginning and are still with us today. And that's what we do. We support them because we can't do this without quality teachers. What else can I say here? If you do come for a tour, and I encourage you to do so, we'll get a chance to go outside on the playground, and each classroom has its age-appropriate playground. And we have it fenced off so the bigger children can't access where the little children are. Again, that's for safety. It's very unlikely that they can escape and go into another playground, but it is fenced off so it keeps them with their peer group. And in there, with their peer group, there's an age-appropriate play structure there. So the smaller children have smaller structures, the bigger children, older children have different play structures. And of course, every year we have a licensed playground inspector come by, and they just check all the nuts and bolts to make sure everything's safe. We've had no injuries in this school except for the typical incident reports where kids kind of get a little bit rough and bumping into each other. And that's kind of by design. The way the facility is designed, also the very low teacher-student ratios. They're very tight ratios. We have lower ratios, and this is part of the Primrose concept, lower ratios than the state. So parents love to see that because children get plenty of time with the teacher, and it's about safety, and it's about job satisfaction and job enrichment too. If you have a teacher with 1 to 18 ratio versus 1 to 12 ratio, that's a lot less children that she has to now manage and look after, and it's easier, and they can do a much better job. So they like it, and that's probably one of the reasons for less turnover too. It is a much safer environment, so parents, when they come and see that, they definitely love that. When you do come for a tour, I encourage you to, even if you're looking at, say, a preschool or pre-K age, I'll show you the whole school, from the infant room all the way through, because I like parents to look in the classrooms, and parents are always assessing what's important to them. For some, it's safety, some it's cleanliness, some it's actively engaged teachers that look like they are loving what they're doing as opposed to doing it for a job. So I like to show them all the classrooms and give them some time, let them look in all the windows so they can kind of assess that and see that the teachers here are very involved, very engaged. Some of my teachers actually are a little bit mature, a little bit older, a little bit mature, and they don't even really need a job. They're here because they used to be in childcare, they have children, grandchildren, everybody's grown up now, and they remember that they love that environment, so they just love being with, say, the infants. Maybe not so much the toddlers, and another group loves the toddlers and the older children, maybe not so the infants. So you got to get the right fit. But when somebody comes and they're like, we don't really need a job, we just love the atmosphere, that's wonderful for me, because we're hiring for attitude. We can always teach skills, and we can always teach those other things. But if you don't come with the right attitude, the gentleness, and just the sheer affection for children, it's very hard to work with you. And in fact, we don't want to work with you because it's not a good outcome in the end. And it's very important that the team that we end up having has no drama. They're here because they want to be here. And of course, once we bring somebody on board, we will definitely invest in them and let them grow and develop and be part of the team. And I think that having seen them mature over 2 years has been wonderful for me. Having seen some of our infants now end up at the end of the hallway as early preschoolers or preschoolers, it's hard to believe they've just grown so fast. So that's very rewarding for me too. So I guess in closing, I'm encouraging you to come and get a tour. Once again, my name is Deepak with the Primrose School of Wylie, and I would love to personally give you a tour too. This is just a high-level summary of just some of the elements. We also need to go deeper into the curriculum and all different areas of the school, which I would love to do. And all you need to do is give us a call or drop by anytime, and we'll give you a tour. Thank you.